Good morning from our display unit from our summer school at Peplink University. We have a series of products I'd like to introduce to you, and I think you're going to really like them. The first is the Orbit series routers. I've got three of them. I've got the 2, the 4, and the 8. Orbit series routers have a unique name to them, and the idea is the ability to bond or connect multiple Starlinks or OneWebs, Iridiums, and future LEO technologies. But I actually, being a 5G bonding healthcare engineer, see a completely different use case. And so the Orbit is not going to be the same for me that it is for a lot of other people. But either way, I'm ecstatic about this line. The reason I like this particular line of product is that everybody knows that if we get the antennas outside, we have better RF signal, whether that's the Starlink, which needs to be outside, or a 5G, which just works better outside. Well, all of the routers lately have been 5G embedded. The 310 5G, the BR1 Pro 5G, the Transit 5G, the HD4 MBX 5G. And what we've been doing is running like 15-foot cables or 6-foot cables to the roof of a vehicle and installing those on the vehicle, or installing them in an IDF or MDF, or installing them on the side of a building. And you're running these super long antenna cables. The Orbit series takes away the 5G and gives us incredible flexibility and capability to enhance our network. And it starts with the Orbit 2. The Orbit 2 router is a BR1 Pro 5G with no 5G. The Orbit 2 is going to have a PoE input LAN and then 2 WAN ports. So we're going to have a 2.5 gig WAN port and then a 1 gig WAN port. And they're calling these Orbit ports. So 2 Orbit ports, and then you're going to have your PoE input LAN port. It also has your GPIO with ignition sense and your status indicators. And so you can configure this as WAN or LAN. So if you need to have WAN or LAN ports, you can do that here. If you need more LAN ports. But the idea is you got this 2.5 gig port, and then you've got the PoE input going down into your switch or power input device. It's going to have 1 gig of router throughput, stateful throughput. It's going to have 400 megs of unencrypted SpeedFusion boost, 200 megabits per second of encrypted SpeedFusion boost. It also now includes the SpeedFusion score that is now available on all products, which basically monitors the health of your SpeedFusion network. On top of SpeedFusion score and SpeedFusion boost, we also have 8 gigabytes of Docker edge compute capability. So you can also run your edge compute right from this router. The next is the Orbit 4. The Orbit 4 is going to have these, instead of LAN ports, this is a BR2 Pro 5G. Look at that. Boom. Right? So the only difference is no cellular connections. So we've got this amazing BR2 footprint with no cellulars. Imagine having 4 max antennas connected to this, right? So not only, I mean, you could have 2 Starlinks, 2 5Gs, you could have 2 Starlinks, a OneWeb, and a 5G. And the idea is that we're going to be able to have 4 inputs. We have 2.5 gig outputs, and this is a WAN LAN port as well as PoE input. So you can PoE power this, make that your LAN. So you could have like an 8-port switch, for example, powering this device, and then you have your WAN ports there for your Starlinks or your OneWebs, and then you still have another Ethernet port there for even a fiber internet or something faster. 1 gig of router throughput, 400 megs of unencrypted, 200 megs of encrypted SpeedFusion boost, 8 gigabytes of Docker capability, so we have our edge compute, Wi-Fi 6, and GPS. So we have GPS, Wi-Fi 6, 4 gigabit WAN ports, a 2.5 gig WAN LAN port, a 2.5 gig LAN port with PoE. So really good capabilities here for multi-WAN bonding and taking advantage of SpeedFusion boost. Now let's look at the Orbit 8. The Orbit 8, I think personally, is a game-changing device, and I think this is going to be one of our #1 sellers for 2026. This is 8 2.5 gigabit PoE plus WAN ports. This means you could have 4 Starlinks, 2 OneWebs, 2 BR2 Pro 5Gs synergized This is incredible, guys. 8 gigabytes of Docker, Wi-Fi 7, GPS, 2 10 gig ports, a 10 gig WAN LAN port, and a 10 gig SFP plus WAN LAN port. We could hook this up to our fiber capacity, go down to a switch. We could plug this right into an ISP, like a fiber ISP. We can have our Ethernet, our 10 gigabit Ethernet. We also have 2 USB ports, so you can hook up the max adapters and have 5G built into it. And so this is an incredible 4 gigabit per second router for under $3,000 with a gig of SpeedFusion boost up, encrypted or unencrypted. So you're talking a gig of SpeedFusion, 4 gigabits per second routing capacity, 8 PoE WAN ports, 2 10 gigabit WAN LAN ports, USB-C, Wi-Fi 7, under $3,000. This is amazing, and I cannot wait to show you the SpeedFusion Score technology that's coming with these devices and all Peplink devices on InControl 2.14.4, I believe. And so we're going to show that off in another video or at the end of this video. Next, I have the 310 5G. The 310 5G, if you notice on the Orbit 8, basically the same device, but built-in 5G. So we've got an 8-port LAN 2.5 gig PoE plus interfaces. So we're talking Wi-Fi access points, phones, cameras, or even using VLAN as WAN feature, Wi-Fi or external 5G or Starlink and other things. 2 10 gigabit ports, Wi-Fi 7 support, and 5G, and 8 gigabytes of Docker. So we got edge compute, Wi-Fi 7, super fast 2.5 gig PoE plus, really fast 10 gigabit interfaces, all in a nice small footprint. And so this is going to be, once again, I think a very powerful and capable edge router or branch router. Even though it looks tiny, it packs a big punch. And so you could put this on your network rack and be confident. The other thing you could do is put them side by side and have them running an HA. So not with this one, but if you had 2 of them. And so, you know, HA redundancy, you'd have strong capacity here, 1 gigabit of SpeedFusion throughput, 4 gigabits of stateful router throughput, SpeedFusion Score. Cannot say enough good things about this new product line. The capacity they're adding to SpeedFusion to enhance for faster 5G, faster Starlink capabilities, faster orbit connectivity for LEO is all coming in this new product line, and they're making them, all of these are rugged, vibration, high temperature ranges. They're built to be beat up, and we had some amazing stories at our summit last week where people were talking about the crazy scenarios where they install these routers and, you know, running at 140 degrees ambient temperature, rock solid. And not that I would recommend that, but saying that these are really built for those environments. And if they're built for those environments, imagine how reliable they're going to be in your beautiful office environment. And so awesome office router, but also very capable and powerful, rugged, portable router. Let me talk about Peplink just being a company about engineers. One of the things that's really funny about Peplink is that we get these marketing companies, they'll say, oh, we need to buy this brand or that brand. And then they say, we don't really know about Peplink. We don't know who they are. And Peplink is a company of passionate engineers that just think, can I build it? This right here is proof of can I build it. This is the PowerFusion Rack. This is not a regular switch. This is a 2,300 watts of PoE budget. Triple power supply, Starlink PoE switch. So this deserves me walking around. Let's look at this. We have 12 2.5 gigabit PoE BT, that's PoE++ ports. These can power cameras, phones, Wi-Fi 7 devices. Then we have 4 400-watt Starlink ports, 2 200-watt 10 gigabit ports, and then you have our SFP plus 10 gigabit ports. So imagine having an B5000 router. I mean, you're gonna need something powerful. We LACP 10 gigabit up into the B5000, and then we can use VLAN as WAN, 4 Gen 3 Starlinks. B5000, 4 Gen 3 Starlinks, boom, right here. No external power supplies, no extra management. VLAN as WAN built right into the router. So this gives you the ability to have 4 Starlinks like plugged right into this thing. I'm gonna be doing a completely separate build where we're actually gonna light that up, a B5000 to this with Starlinks, and we're gonna see what this thing can do. But you also have PoE++ 2.5 gigs. That means I could have 12 BR2 Pro 5Gs synergized on this switch. 12. You imagine 12 BR2s on the roof of your building with a 2.5 gigabit uplink. I mean, that's insane. It's insane, all on this one switch. And so I'm really excited what Peplink is doing, and this just showcases what Peplink is bringing to the market. We're not just making switches and routers and SD-WAN. We're not just building SpeedFusion Boost and InTouch and InControl and zero-touch management and incredibly ruggedized high-performance routers. We're also building a power supply for Starlink. Like, it's insane. And Peplink is building this stuff because our customers demand it. And so you're looking at one of the most powerful switches in existence, and it's made by a company that builds routers. And that to me is just amazing. Anyways, PowerFusion Rack, I don't think it's even released yet, but this is amazing. And welcome to Peplink.